Next up on the Cosmic News Network, First Contact with Joshua Pert.
Good morning, Earthlings. Good. How you doing today? Good. How you doing today? Welcome to First Contact Radio. Welcome to First Contact Radio. To talk about all these things I'm talking about is because in life, everything is energy. Every single thing that's out there.
Yo, it's First Contact with Joshua Poet. He's the man on the mic, just in case you didn't know it. Covering news from all around the globe, from the weather and space to UFOs. He'll talk politics and make you open your eyes. Conspiracy theories and government lies. They'll dig it all up and try to find the proof. Cause it's time to demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio. We have
time to demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio. We have arrived.
It's time.
First Contact Radio.
It's time to demand the truth.
Radio. We have arrived. First Contact Radio. Good morning, Earthlings. How you doing today? Welcome back to First Contact Radio. Today is the 30th of April, last day of the month. So yesterday we had that solar eclipse. Today we're moving now from the Taurus moon sign to a new moon sign, which is Gemini. We could see that that transition takes place and completes itself at 3:56 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, so later this afternoon. So we know that Taurus is an earth sign and Gemini is an air sign. So we're going from earth to air. Earth, practical things; air, words and actions. Okay, so earth to air is where we're going from. Okay, and just think of how air and earth work together. Air, nice gentle breeze blowing across the land. That's good. But if the wind blows really strong, it can really blow everything apart. Big hurricanes, things of this nature, not so good. So we want to be able to have the words and the actions enough that it's not going to destroy the land. And that's very important. Okay? Very important. So, let's go look at our numerology. Numerology today is 5. 5 is the tarot card of the Hierophant in Taurus. Here's how we arrived at 5. 4 plus 3 plus 0 plus 2 plus 1 plus 4. That's 14. 1 plus 4 is 5. So today would be a 5. Hierophant, 5. You're familiar with this card here by now. And what this is all about. Hierophant is the spiritual teacher, Hebrew letter Va, which is a nail or hook, hooking together the spiritual and the physical, bringing the spiritual down into the physical. That's what the Hierophant is doing, the spiritual teacher. He's the one who brings spirit into the world. Not the only one, that's just the function that this particular being has. Okay, now let's jump over here, look at this chart, our tree of life. So our Hierophant is over here, coming from wisdom to mercy. This is where we're at the moment for Taurus. Then our moon sign, Gemini, which is right over here. Going from what we understand back to beauty. Gemini is about the choices we make with our mind, with the words and the actions. So those choices are based on what we understand. We have our foundation in the heart and beauty. Okay, so that's what we're looking at today. Remember, with this symbol, this is a symbol that all of us deal with every single day. In all the decisions we make, we just don't think of it in this manner. But when you look at this, you start to see that this really affects and really plays out in everything. You got 3 pillars: too much, too little, just right. You're always trying to find a balance between them. The circles are classrooms where you learn lessons, and then the paths between the classrooms. Okay? And then by looking to see what energies are at play during the course of the day, helps us to understand. So we know today that the sun sign is in Taurus. Well, here's Taurus right here. The moon sign is in Gemini. Here's our Gemini right here. And the numerology today is also a 5, which is right over here. we can kind of see where we're working at. Okay, or we've learned things. We need to be humble with the things that we've learned. We've come to understand things. Now we need to take that understanding back to the heart with the choices that we make. Always looking to find a way back to the middle. And if you understand that, then no matter where you go on this tree, you'll be able to find your way back, because there's a path to get back to the middle. We want to get back in balance. That's our objective, to get back in balance. Now, the new moon has just passed, so we're just slightly past that. We're making our way up towards the full moon now, so it's called a waxing moon. Wax up, wane off, 2% full. This week we have, it says you can see the hairline moon yet in the west in the twilight. It's about fist width to the lower right of Aldebaran for North American sky watchers. Binoculars will help. How about the departing Pleiades? Okay, so we see the Pleiades down here. We're going to see the moon, the Pleiades, Aldebaran. Okay, this is what the sky is going to look like over the next couple days. Again, looking west. The Mayan Oracle, we're at the 13-day cosmic tone, which is the jumping off of one wave spell, beginning another one. So today is the wind, cosmic wind. Cosmic wind is to communicate. We have the world bridger, which is teaching us the lessons of life and death. But there is no difference other than the one that we believe that there is, which there isn't. It's just a veil, a doorway between one reality and the next. Phrase for today: I endure in order to communicate. Transcending breath, I seal the input of spirit with the cosmic tone of presence. I am guided by the power of death. Space weather, our solar wind is currently at 312.5 kilometers per second. Planetary K index, we're in the 3 to 4 range, so we're a little bit unsettled. Nothing coronal hole-wise facing us at the moment. M-class flare possibilities down to 20. X-class 1, and geomagnetic storm activity is pretty low as well. 30% in the high latitudes, but dropping, and 20% in the mids, dropping as well. Over on the Jewish calendar, today is the 30th, 30 Nisan, Omer count, day 15. Okay? Alright. And also a day called Rosh Chodesh. Alright. So there you go. That gets us started for today with what's taking place. UFO news is up next.
This is the UFO News with Joshua Poet.
Alright, Dirk, thank you very much. First UFO story for today takes us to the Mars Rover. Something up in the sky. There's a close-up version of it. We've got links to the photos over at JPL. This came in our email today here at USD, UFO Sightings Daily. It shows a rising or setting sun, and a glare in a sun's angle is causing the object to become visible over the rover. This UFO would normally be invisible to the rover, but the sun's angle highlights its edges as it sets. The object is clearly flying and looks like a disc tilted at 45 degrees. The line of the UFO in red is not lined up with the sun, but actually aimed over and past it. Notice the angle of the blue line does not line up with the tilt of the UFO. This is proof that the object is not just a reflection of the glare caused by the sun, but a flying object over Mars. Okay, good shots from Scott. Alright. Now, from there, we're going to go over to Australia. Orange UFO over New Delhi, April 28th. Same as Australia last week. It's a fiery-looking object. The UFO report just came in today in our email. It describes a UFO that matches an earlier UFO by a pilot in Queensland. Australia on April 20, 2014. The similarities are remarkable. This could be the same UFO as always. I deleted the name from the report. Okay. I'd like to share my experiences of what I saw tonight, which I believe is something extraterrestrial. This took place tonight itself. This is the 28th of April. It's around 21:35. I live in New Delhi, India, where the night sky is full of city lights and light pollution blocks all scope of watching stars twinkle. At about 21:35, I entered my room looking for a book. The window of the face of the vast stretch of buildings, which aren't very close to mine, was open. I stared into the night sky. I live on the 8th floor. A strange flash of red and orange caught my eyes, and I walked closer to the window to have a better look. What I saw was completely outlandish. I could barely process what was going on. I saw the yellow glowing orb floating still in the sky. Yes, it was still. It was not moving, but it seemed to float somehow. It had a bright red dazzle around the top half of the body. Too bad I was way too mesmerized to take a picture, but managed to draw a picture later on, which I've attached. My drawing is exactly the same as what I saw, although I deeply regret not taking a picture at the time. As I stared at the floating orb. It kind of started oscillating about its original position. I had no clue as to what was going on. There was then, within no time, it started moving away from me and appeared, which I find rather odd, saying to have caught fire. It blazed bright yellow and increased its speed exponentially and made its way for the night sky. It was gone in no time. It appears as if it had been there a long time, and as soon as I realized I took notice of its presence, it fled. Okay. Moving from here, let's go over to Spain, Cadiz, Spain. This was April 29th. An interesting footage of a bright, unidentified flying object hovering in the sky above Cadiz city and port in southwestern Spain. Okay, here's our definite object in question. Alright, that's a good shot. The video is 2 minutes and 13 seconds in length. Okay, let's go from there to the next one. Okay, now we're going to go up to Mars. This is a CIGAR UFO, or foreign object, penetrates in the Gale crater Mars. Here's what we see right there, and this is an image that comes from our volcano in Mexico, Popocatépetl. The video that we presented is a collage of 6 frames taken by the Mars Curiosity, which captures the passage of a UFO on the surface of Mars came down from the heaven. In fact, these images are reminiscent of the UFO recorded at Popocatépetl volcano in 2012, which shows a cigar-shaped object with white in a diameter of about 270 meters. This UFO was caught accidentally by the Curiosity Rover on 28th of April, which seems to repeat the same object in Mexico. Okay, and here's our video, 2 minutes 20 seconds in length. Okay, and what we've got here, there's our object. These are just all still photos. Well, this one has some movement. So, it is possible this could be going to the back side of the planet. I mean, we see that here, and it looks like it's going in from this angle. But perhaps it's just going past the planet. Or maybe it is going in, just like right here. This is the volcano called Popocatépetl. Okay. This is the Gale crater. So it's not going past the planet, actually going into this crater area. Okay. So perhaps it's landing in there. There's something going on. Very interesting. Let's move on from here. Next, we're going to go over to a compilation. This is a compilation of sightings from the month of April. And it's gone. Alright. So, no compilation. No compilation. It disappeared since things started here today. Alright, last one, new Android app. That would be for this website, latest UFO sightings.net. says we just created an Android app for all UFO enthusiasts. Follow the latest UFO news and sightings with your Android phone or tab. Okay, you just follow this link, or if you're on your phone, just go to your app store and click on it and look for the app. All right, there you go. That's our UFO news for today. I'll be right back. We're gonna get into some interesting information, so stay tuned.
Come into our circle, Great Spirit. Fill our souls with peace.
Spirits. Now, we have coming up a prayer day tomorrow, May 1st. So here's a notice about this prayer day. If you want to join in, join millions in praying for America. Prayer is the most intimate and private moment a person can have with God. But there is power in numbers, and you can join millions of Americans in praying to God for our nation, all at the same time. The 2004 National Observance of the National Day of Prayer will be streamed live by WND-TV from the Cannon House Office Building in Washington on May 1st, from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The special observance is hosted by Representative Robert Alderhout from Alabama. The other speakers include Anne Graham, daughter of Billy Graham, Dr. James and Shirley Dotson, Miss Vonette Bright, the Honorable Bob McEwen, Representative Mike McIntyre, Don Moen, Chaplain Father Patrick Connolly, Dr. Dick Eastman, Mr. David Butts, Mr. John Borstein, and more. On Thursday, National Day of Prayer, don't miss Rabbi Jonathan Kahn's scripture reading following the opening remarks. Kahn, author of the runaway bestseller The Harbinger, has been invited to join the speakers for the 63rd Annual National Day of Prayer. On a date he tells WND holds a special significance in both his book and American history. But the speakers gathering the day before, Kahn told, will be haunting echo of similar actions taken years ago by Americans' founding fathers. On April 30th is the date given in the Harbinger. April 30th, 1789 is the day that America came into existence as a fully formed nation with president and Congress. And on that day, George Washington and America's first government prayed and dedicated America to God at the very corner of what is today called Ground Zero. Now on the anniversary of that first prayer gathering with America in grave moral and spiritual apostasy, the nation gathers again for prayer, Kahn said. Kahn, a Jewish Christian, was invited by National Day of Prayer organizer Shirley Dobson to follow her opening remarks with a reading from Scripture and prayer. Churches across the country will join together at this time in prayer, and the national observance will be broadcast live on God TV and National Prayer Task Force website. Scheduled speakers include, I just went over those. All right, so that's tomorrow, National Day of Prayer. Prayer is always a good thing when people gather together to want to make things better through spirituality, which is good, through the connection with our Creator. Very, very important. Very important. Okay. So let's move on from here. So we've got a little bit of a form going on Tuesdays. Yesterday I started with the Book of Urantia, and I'm going to continue that for a while. There's plenty to go in that book, so we'll keep nice and busy with that for a while. I've had some positive responses from those who like material of the Book of Urantia, so I'm definitely going to keep doing that. So that'll be on Tuesdays. Thursdays, I've been doing the from the three initiates, the Book of the Kabbalion, and we're almost through with that. We'll finish that on Thursday and Friday of this week. And on Wednesdays, I'm going to start something new. I've been doing Lost Civilization type stuff on Wednesdays. So today I'm going to start with the Epic of the Creation, the Epic of Gilgamesh here. And we're going to go with this on Wednesdays for a little bit, kind of get through this as well. Okay, so let's get started. So this is Inu Elish, the Epic of Creation. The Babylonian Epic of Creation, Enuma Elish, is written on 7 tablets. Each are between 115 and 170 lines long. It supposedly was written no later than the reign of Nebuchadnezzar in the 12th century BC, but there is little doubt that the story was written much earlier, during the time of the Sumerians. Drawing some new light on the ancients, Henry Leonard found within the ruins of the library of Ashurbanipal in Nineveh texts were not unlike the Genesis creation in the Bible. George Smith first published these texts in 1876 under the title The Chaldean Genesis, Akkadian text written in the Old Babylonian dialect. So the Babylonian god finished his work within the span of 6 tablets of stone. The last and 7th stone exalted the handiwork and greatness of the deity's work. Thus the comparison must be made to the 7 days of creation found in the Bible, borrowed its theme from the Babylonians and then from the Sumerians. So let's get started. We have 2 translations here, both pretty similar. This first one is translated by L.W. King. So we're going to go and look at this one here. So we click on the first link, first tablet. There we go. When the height heaven was not named, and the earth beneath it did not bear a name, and the primeval Apsu, who begat them, and Chaos Tiamat, the mother of them both, their waters were mingled together, and no field was formed, no marsh was to be seen. when of the gods none of them had been called into being, and none bore a name, and no destinies were ordained. Then were created the gods in the midst of heaven. Lamu and Lamu were called into being. Ages increased. Then Ansar and Kisar were created, and over them long were the days. Then there came forth Anu their son, Ansar and Anu, and the god Anu, Nidamud, whose his fathers, his begetters, abounding in all wisdom. He was exceedingly strong, he had no rival. There were established and were the great gods, but Tiamat and Apsu were still in confusion. They were troubled and in disorder. Apru was not diminished in might, and Tiamat roared. She smote, and their deeds and their way was evil. Then Apsu, the begetter of the great gods, cried unto Mumu, his minister, and said unto him, O Mumu, thou minister, thou rejoicest my spirit. Come unto Tiamat, let us go. So they went, and before Tiamat they lay down. They consulted on a plan with regard to the gods, their sons. Apsu opened his mouth and spake, and unto Tiamat the glistening one he addressed the word, their way. By day I cannot rest, by night I cannot lie down in peace, but I will destroy their way, I will. Let there be lamentation, and let us lie down again in peace. When Tiamat heard these words, she raged and cried aloud. She grievously, she uttered a curse, and unto Apsu she spake, What then shall we do? Let their way be made difficult, and let us lie down again in peace. Mumu answered and gave counsel to Apsu, and hostile to the gods was the counsel Mamu gave. Come, their way is strong, but thou shalt destroy it. Then by day shalt thou have rest, by night shalt thou lie down in peace. Apsu hearkened unto him, and his countenance grew bright. Since he, Mamu, planned evil against the gods, his sons, he was afraid. His knees became weak. They gave way beneath him, because of the evil which their firstborn had planned. There they altered lamentation, they sat in sorrow. Then he, who knoweth all that is, went up and beheld their murmuring. He spake, he hath conquered, and these are all parts of lines here. He weepeth and sitteth in tribulation of fear. We shall not lie down in peace. Apsu is laid waste, and Mamu, who were taken captive in, thou didst. Let us lie down in peace. They will smite. Let us lie down in peace. Thou shalt take vengeance for them, and unto the tempest shall thou. And Tiamat hearkened unto the world of the bright God, and said, Shalt thou entrust? Let us wage war. The gods in the midst of, for the gods did she create. They banded themselves together at the sight of Tiamat. They advanced. They were furious. They devised mischief without resting night and day. They prepared for battle, fuming and raging. They joined their forces and made war. Umu Habur, Tiamat, who formed all things, made in addition weapons invincible. She spawned monster serpents, sharp of tooth and merciless of fang. With poison instead of blood she filled their bodies. Fierce monster vipers she clothed with terror. With splendor she decked them, and she made them of lofty stature. Whoever beheld them, terror overcame them. Their bodies reared up, and none could withstand their attack. She set up vipers and dragons, and the monster Lamu, and hurricanes, and raging hounds, and scorpion men, and mighty tempests, and fish men, and rams. They bore cruel weapons, without fear of the fight. Her commands were mighty, none could resist them. After this fashion, huge of stature, she made 11 kinds of monsters among the gods who were her sons, inasmuch as she had given her support. She exalted Kinu, and in their midst she raised him to power, to march before the forces, to lead the host, to give the battle signal, to advance the attack, to direct the battle, to control the fight. Unto him she entrusted in costly raiment. She made him sit, saying, I have uttered thy spell in the assembly of the gods. I have raised thee to power. The dominion over the gods have I entrusted unto him. Be thou exalted, thou my chosen spouse. May thy magnify the name over all of them, the Anunnaki. She gave him the tablets of destiny. On his breast she laid them, saying, Thy command shall not be without avail, and the word of the mouth shall be established. Now Kinu, thus exalted, having received the power of Anu, decreed the fate among the gods his sons, saying, Let the opening of your mouth quench the fire god. Whoso is exalted in the battle, let him display his might. Alright, that was the first time. Let's go to the second tablet. Second tablet here. It says, Tiamat made weighty her handiwork. Evil she wrought against the gods, her children. To avenge Apsu, Tiamat planned evil, but now she had collected her forces, the god unto Eve divulged. Ea hearkened to this thing, and he was grievously afflicted, and he sat in sorrow. The days went by, and his anger was appeased, and to the place of Ansar his father he took his way. He went, and standing before Ansar, the father who begat him, all that Tiamat had platted he repeated unto him, saying, Tiamat, our mother hath conceived a hatred for us. With all her force she rages, full of wrath. All the gods have turned to her. With those whom ye created, they go at her side. They are banded together, and at the side of Tiamat they advance. They are furious. They devise mischief without resting night and day. They prepare for battle, fuming and raging. They have joined their forces and are making war. Hubar, who formed all things, hath made all addition weapons invincible. She has spawned monster serpents, sharp of tooth and merciless of fang. With poison instead of blood she hath filled their bodies. Fierce monster vipers she hath clothed with terror. With splendor she hath decked them. She hath made them of lofty stature. Whoever beholdeth them is overcome by terror. Their bodies rear up, and none can withstand their attack. She has set up vipers and dragons, and the monster Lamu, and hurricanes, and raging hounds, and scorpion men, and mighty tempests, and fishmen, and rams. They bear cruel weapons, without fear of the fight. Her commands are mighty, none can resist them. After this fashion, huge of stature, hath she made 11 monsters, among the gods who are her sons, inasmuch as he hath given her support. She hath exalted Kingu. In their midst she hath raised him to power, to march before the forces, to lead the host, to give the battle signal, to advance to the attack, to direct the battle, to control the fight. Unto him hath she entrusted in costly raiment. She hath made him sit, saying, I have uttered thy spell in the assembly of the gods. I have raised thee to power. The dominion over all the gods have I entrusted unto thee. Be thou exalted, thou my chosen spouse. May thy magnify thy name over all of them. She hath given him the tablets of destiny. On his breast she laid them, saying, Thy command shall not be without avail, and thy word of thy mouth shall be established. Now Kingu, thus exalted, having received the power of Anu, decreed the fate for the gods, her sons, saying, Let the opening of your mouth quench the fire god. Whoso is exalted in the battle, let him display his might. When Ansar heard how Tiamat was mightily in revolt, he bit his lips. His mind was not at peace. He made a bitter lamentation. Battle, thou, Mamu and Apsu, thou hast smitten, but Tiamat hath exalted kings, and where is one who can oppose her? Deliberation, thee of the gods, Nidmud. And we have, there's a missing gap of about a dozen lines, and then it goes on to say, Ansar unto his son addressed the world, a mighty hero, whose strength is great, and whose onslaught cannot be withstood. Go and stand before Tiamat, that her spirit may be appeased, that her heart may be merciful. But if she will not hearken unto the word, our word shall thou speak unto her, that she may be pacified. He heard the word of his father Ansar, and he directed his path towards her. Toward her he took the way. On drew nigh. He beheld the muttering of Tiamat. He could not withstand her, and he turned back. Ansar, he spoke unto him. Now we've got some more missing lines, about 20 of them. And then it goes on. An avenger, valiant, in the place of his decision, he spake unto him, thy father. Thou art my son, who maketh merciful his heart. To the battle thou shalt draw nigh. He that shall behold thee shall have peace. And the Lord rejoiced at the word of the Father. And he drew nigh and stood before Ansar. Ansar beheld him, and his heart was filled with joy. He kissed him on the lips, and his fear departed from him. O my father, let not the word of thy lips be overcome. Let me go, that I may accomplish all that is in thy heart. O Ansar, let not the word of thy lips be overcome. Let me go, that I may accomplish all that is in thy heart. What man is it who hath brought thee forth to battle? Tiamat, who is a woman, is armed, and attacked thee. Rejoice and be glad. The neck of Tiamat shall thou swiftly trample under foot. Rejoice and be glad. The neck of Tiamat shall thou swiftly trample under foot. O my son, who knoweth all wisdom, pacify Tiamat with thy pure incantation. Speedily set upon thy way, for thy blood shall not be poured out. Thou shalt return again. The Lord rejoiced at the word of his father. His heart exalted, and unto his father he spake. O Lord of the gods, destiny of the great gods, if I, your avenger, conquer Tiamat and give you life, appoint an assembly, make my fate preeminent, and proclaim it in Upsukak Kinaku. Seat yourself joyfully together. With my word in place of you will I decree fate. May whatsoever I do remain unaltered. May the word of my lips never be changed nor made of no avail. Let's see what we got. Maybe we can get through the third one here. I'll give it a shot. Let's see. Ansar opened his mouth, and unto Gaga, his minister, spake the word. O Gaga, thou minister that rejoicest my spirit, unto Lamu on Lamu will I send thee. Thou canst attain, shall cause to be brought before thee. Let the gods, all of them, make ready for a feast at a banquet. Let them all sit, let them eat bread, let them mix wine. For that for Marduk, their avenger, may decree the fate. Go, Gaga, stand before them, and all that I tell thee repeat unto them, and say, Ansar your son hath sent me. The purpose of his heart he hath made known unto me. The purpose of his heart he hath made known unto me. He said that Tiamat our mother hath conceived a hatred for us. With all her force she rageth full of wrath. All the gods have turned to her. With those whom ye created ye go at her side. They are banded together at her side. Of Tiamat they advance. They are furious. They devise mischief without resting night and day. They prepare for battle, fuming and raging. They have joined their forces and are making war. Umar Hubar, who formed all things, hath made in addition weapons invincible. She has spawned monster serpents, sharp of tooth and merciless of fang. With poison instead of blood she hath filled their bodies. Fierce monster vipers she hath clothed with terror. With splendor she hath decked them. She made them lofty in stature. Whosoever beholdeth them, terror overcometh them. Their bodies rear up, and none can withstand the attack. She has set up vipers and dragons, and the monster Lahamu. The hurricanes and raging bounds, and scorpion men, and mighty tempests, and fishmen and rams. They bear merciless weapons without fear of the fight. Her commands are mighty. None can resist them. After this fashion, huge of stature, hath she made 11 monsters among the gods who are her sons, inasmuch as he hath given her support. She hath exalted Kingu, and in their midst she has raised him to power, to march before the forces, to lead the host, to give the battle signal, to advance to the attack, to direct the battle, to control the fight. Unto him she hath entrusted in costly raiment. She hath made him sit, saying, I have uttered thy spell in the assembly of the gods. I have raised thee to power. The dominion over all the gods I have entrusted unto thee. Be thou exalted, thou my chosen spouse. May thy magnify thy name over them all. The Anunnaki. She hath given him the tablets of destiny. On his breast she laid them, saying, Thy command shall not be without avail, and the word of thy mouth shall be established. Now Kingu, thou exalted, having received the power of Anu, decreed his fate for the gods, her sons, saying, Let the opening of your mouth quench the fire god. Whoso is exalted in the battle, let him display his might. I sent Anu, but he could not withstand her. Nidmidud was afraid and turned back. But Marduk hath set out, the director of the gods, your son, to set out against Tiamat. His heart hath prompted him. He opened his mouth and spake unto me, saying, If I, your avenger, conquer Tiamat and give your life, appoint an assembly, make my fate preeminent, proclaim it. In Epsu Kinaku, seat yourself joyfully together. With my word in place of you will I decree fate. May whatsoever I do remain unaltered. May the word of my lips never be changed nor made of no avail. Hasten before and swiftly decree for him the fate which you bestow, that he may go and may fight against your strong enemy. Gaga went, he took his way, and humbly before Lamu and Lahamu, as gods his fathers, he made obeisance. He kissed the ground at their feet, he humbled himself. Then he stood up and spake unto them, saying, Ansar, your son hath sent me. The purpose of his heart he hath made known unto me. He said that Tiamat, our mother, hath conceived a hatred for us. With all our force she rageth full of wrath. All of the gods have turned to her. With those whom ye created, they go at her side. They are banded together at the side of Tiamat. They advance. They are furious. They devise mischief without resting night and day. They prepare for battle, fuming and raging. They have joined their forces and are making war. Hubar, who formed all things, hath made in addition weapons invincible. She hath spawned monster serpents, sharp of tooth and merciless of fang. With poison instead of blood she hath filled their bodies. Fierce monster vipers, she clothed them with terror. With splendor she hath decked them, and she made them of lofty stature. Whoever beholdeth them, terror overcometh them. Their bodies rear up, and none can withstand the attack. She has set up vipers and dragons, and the monster Alamu, and hurricanes and raging hounds, and scorpion men, and mighty tempests, and fishmen, and rams. They bear merciless weapons without fear of the fight. Her commands are mighty, none can resist them. After this fashion, huge of stature, hath she made 11 monsters among the gods, who are her sons, inasmuch as he hath given her support. She hath exalted Kingu, and in their midst she has raised him to power, to march before the forces, to lead the host, to give the battle signal, to advance to the attack, to direct the battle, to control the fight. Unto him hath she entrusted in costly raiment. She made him sit, saying, I have uttered thy spell in the assembly of the gods, and I have raised thee to power. The dominion over all the gods have I entrusted unto thee. Be thou exalted, thou my chosen spouse. May thou magnify the name over all of them. The Anunnaki. She hath given him the tablets of destiny on his breast, and laid them, saying, Thy command shall not be without avail, and the word of thy mouth shall now be established. Now Kingu, thus exalted, having received the power of Anu, decreed the fate for the gods, her sons, saying, Let the opening of your mouth quench the fire god. Whoso is exalted in the battle, let him display his might. I sent Anu, but he could not withstand her. Nidmud was afraid and turned back, but Marduk hath set out, the director of the gods, your sons, to set out against Tiamat. His heart hath prompted him. He opened his mouth and spake unto me, saying, If I, your avenger, conquer Tiamat and give you life, appoint an assembly, make my fate preeminent, and proclaim it. Unupsu Kinanaku, seat yourselves joyfully together. With my word in your place I will decree fate. May whatsoever I do remain unaltered. May the word of my lips never be changed, nor made of no avail. Hasten before, and swiftly decree for him the fate which you bestow, that he may go and may fight your strong enemy. Lamu and Lahamu heard and cried aloud. All of the Igigi, the elder gods, wailed bitterly, saying, What has been altered so that they should? We do not understand the deed of Tiamat. Then they collect and go. The great gods, all of them, who decree fate, they entered in before Ansar. They kissed one another in the assembly. They made ready for the feast. At the banquet they sat. They ate bread. They mixed sesame wine, the sweet drink, the mead, confused there. They were drunk with drinking. Their bodies were filled. They were wholly at ease. Their spirit was exalted. Then for Marduk the Avenger did they decree the fate. Alright, so there's 3 of the tablets. Next week I'll do a couple more until we get through all 7 of them. Thought this would be interesting since so much of our stories that we hear of, and you can hear the similarities, right, between the Bible stories and this, are definitely in there. All right, let's jump over to a story here. This says, are we having a precognitive memory of going home to the stars? This is over at In5D. Greg Prescott. Many people feel like Earth isn't their home, as if they are visiting here in this incarnation from another planet. Is this a premonition of what is about to come? Dolores Cannon is a past life regression hypnotherapist who has worked with literally thousands of people throughout regression hypnotherapy. In many of these regressions, she has heard the same story over and over and over again. Or under hypnosis, many of her clients state that they either feel like they are not from this planet or they have lived lives on other planets. In a previous article, A Door is About to Open, there was a segment that talks about Global Consciousness Project and how we can perceive events that have not yet happened through precognitive sensory abilities. Global consciousness, sometimes called field consciousness, is the notion that when groups of people focus their minds on the same thing, they influence the world at large. Roger Nelson heads the Global Consciousness Project, which is an organization that collects data from around the world in its effort to prove that global consciousness exists. Nelson published a study called Wishing for Good Weather, which appeared in the Journal for Scientific Exploration. The following is an excerpt from that abstract. Reunion and commencement activities at Princeton University involving thousands of alumni, graduates, family, and other members are held outdoors, and is often remarked that they are almost always blessed with good weather. A comparison of the recorded rainfall in Princeton versus nearby communities shows that there is significantly less rain, less often in Princeton on those days with major outdoor activities. Nelson's research suggests that they focused intent in Princeton kept the rain away. An amazing fact of this research found that our thoughts can sometimes be precognitive. For example, testing results were dramatically amplified before September 11, 2001, as if many people knew something big was about to happen, but could not specifically put their finger on what was about to occur. Even without having a past life regression, many people feel as if the Earth is not their planet of origin. For example, look at the Earth's population. If every soul that incarnated was from Earth, then it would be impossible for there to be so many people on this planet right now, unless those who are incarnating are new souls. Through Cannon's research, we know that many people incarnated here from other planets and star systems, while many others literally feel as though Earth is not their home. While there are many new and young souls here, many of us have lived numerous lives on various planets in previous lifetimes. Because of the wheel of karma, many of us end up returning to this planet to resolve these issues as well as for spiritual progression through this third-dimensional reality. Similar to how Global Consciousness Project determined how many people felt something was about to occur the day before September 11th, is it possible that people are feeling the same thing about wanting to go home? What if simply thinking about going back to your home planet was actually sending a signal to your planet of origin, letting them know you had enough of this experience on Earth? Perhaps there is something that everyone is feeling right now, and they feel it is time to go home. Imagine a Lyran, Arcturian, or Pleiadian UFO landing in your backyard. If you were given the opportunity to go back to your home planet right now without being able to consult anyone else, including friends and family, would you go? If in fact this is precognitive memory, what would you do? It's a good question. Very good question. What would you do if you had that opportunity? Would you stay? Would you go? I don't know. I know that we're all here to make some sort of difference here, and at a certain point in time, we're either going to have to decide if we're going to stay or go. But sometimes I'm wondering if that's the choice. Are those leaving? Are they leaving, abandoning others behind? Or is that their purpose to take off? Because at a certain point in time, you have to realize that there are those who aren't going to fend for themselves and are going to sink with the ship, and you got to do what you can to save yourself. I don't know. They're good questions to think about, because we certainly are in a time where these issues may come up and these questions may come up, and we may need to address them at some point in time. So just a thought. All right, here's our message for today from SaLuSa.
SaLuSa.
April 25th, 2014.
Although matters on Earth are still in a state of change, the outcome will not lead to worse situations. We are thinking primarily of the confrontation taking place in the Ukraine. Not so many years ago it would most likely have led to a state of war. Due to the change in consciousness levels and the higher vibrations reaching you, solutions are sought that focus on a peaceful conclusion. Peace will soon come to Earth and you will be able to focus on rebuilding peaceful relations between countries. Over a period of time most countries have become a mix of different races and cultures, and it is already greatly helping your civilization to live in peace and harmony. Around the world the last acts of separation are being played out, and once the dark ones are removed life will become more peaceful and rewarding. There are younger generations who are more evolved and waiting their chance to bring in new ideas for a more joyous living. The time is arriving when leaders will come forward to replace the dark ones whose days are numbered. Such souls have experience that they can call upon that would ensure humanity takes a great step forward into the new age. There have been times in your history when peace has enabled much progress to be achieved. However, such periods have been a pale reflection of what the Golden Age will bring to you. They will return and you will have what has been referred to as the 1000 years of peace. Most souls have reincarnated many times on Earth to experience duality. Some are still experiencing what is to them a higher level of consciousness, whilst others are simply raising theirs to a level previously reached. Souls on Earth are a mix of those at so many different stages of evolution. However, as you progress away from Earth the different levels of consciousness are clearly defined, and souls of a lower level of vibration cannot normally enter those that are higher. The exception is when they are accompanied by a higher soul who will share his/her level of vibration with them. You will have so much to discover and learn anew, and it will be exciting times. Until you reach the higher level of consciousness, you are very limited as to how far you can go. It is your present level that keeps you in a state of limited consciousness. The more you open up your consciousness to consider other possibilities, the quicker you will increase your vibrational level. At present you live in what could be termed a dream world, one that all souls have helped to create. It will not be until you have raised your present consciousness levels that you will again become the free spirit that you really are. However, as with all experiences, it expands your consciousness levels and that will ultimately carry you forward. We look at you with complete admiration and love, as we see souls that have willingly taken on duality knowing that it could pull them down. Yet, you have boldly taken up the challenge, knowing that you are never left totally alone to find your way back to the light. As souls that are moving out of the lower dimensions, you are adding invaluable experience to your total knowledge. Somewhere in the near future it will enable you to help other souls, who can learn through your experiences. Whether you have lived or served the light or dark makes no difference, as you will have a wealth of experience to offer others also on the path of evolution. We have often made the point that you are all one, and it is true that what each of you do affects the whole. As a collective of souls you help each other to progress, because as you do so the whole of humanity moves forward. Consider that as a result of your many lives upon Earth, you have acquired knowledge and experience of many different cultures. At a subconscious level it affects your present-day living, and should make you more tolerant of other people's beliefs. Many are living with a limited if not false understanding of the truth. It will come out very soon, and perhaps knowing that you are more than just your body will be found to be a profound and revealing statement. You are glorious beings of light that are in an advanced state of being, and in the future will be able to think yourself into whatever form you desire to further your evolution. With it comes the freedom to travel where and when you desire. I am SaLuSa from Sirius, and always pleased to make this contact with you. It has been a long and hard road for all of you, but that is now changing for the good. I leave you with my love and blessings.
Thank you, SaLuSa.
Alright, very nice message from SaLuSa. That brings us to our meditation for today, so go ahead and close your eyes. Take a deep breath. And exhale. Take another deep breath. Exhale again. Imagine all your chakras are activated. Starting with the top of the head, drawing the energy in from the cosmos. You see the white light coming into your crown chakra. The crown chakra is violet in color, the violet light, the violet flame. And from that violet color chakra, the energy moves down to the chakra below it, right between the two eyebrows, the third eye chakra. Indigo is the color. And the light continues down to the throat chakra. There, the color is blue. And feel the light moving down from the throat down to the heart chakra. There you see the color green. From the green heart chakra, the light moves down further yet to the solar plexus just below the rib cage, and there you see the color yellow. And the light continues down to the belly button area. There you see the next chakra dealing with the emotional body. Orange is the color. And finally down to the root chakra, the bottom of the spine, red. And the energy draws itself down further into the earth. And there you are, connected to the earth and to the cosmos. A product of both the earth and the sky. And there we are in between. And imagine yourself moving through life, walking along the path of life, and thinking about all the experiences you've had in this lifetime and in many other lifetimes. And you realize that all experiences bring you back to God, whether experiences of good or bad. We realize that our interpretation of good or bad is not necessarily the same as that which God might think. For our interpretations of good or bad are limited by how those experiences seem to be, yet when we contemplate that there is a higher power, a higher intelligence that understands more, we understand the necessity of why some things need to happen. Because the universe always balances itself out. And it is up to the people on the planet to find the balance within that. Imagine yourself walking this planet hand in hand with your brothers and sisters and other family members. Imagine all the people out walking around the world joined in unity of spirit and understanding of the great creative plan that we are here to fulfill. Let's just imagine sending out love around the planet to everyone, sending light as protection around to everyone as well. And let's just see the planet surrounded with a glowing color green light of the heart chakra. And let's just see that light expand out like a huge shield of protection around the planet. And let's send this light up into the cosmos to our space brothers and sisters. And let's just think a good thought for everyone in the world today, everyone in the cosmos. And let our subconscious mind continue on that journey of putting out good vibes, good thoughts, and let's bring our conscious mind back to the present moment on the count of 3. 3, coming back to the present moment filled with confidence. 2, coming back to the present moment filled with faith. And 1, coming back to the present moment happy, healthy, and whole. Happy, healthy, and whole. Take another deep breath. Exhale. And open your eyes. That's it for today, my friends. Thank you very much. Check out the links, firstcontactradio.com. I'll be back tomorrow with more news and information. We're going to continue on with the Babylonian tomorrow. So if you haven't read through it, read through to catch up. We're all the way to the end to cause and effect. So that's where we'll be tomorrow. Have a great day. I'll talk to you soon. Peace. I'm out of here.